All right.
Renounce the guilds.
So rare is Renounce. I'm not going to first pick that. It's pretty funny first pick if anybody did it. This pack also has Haunter, which I think is probably the best card in this pack. There's also Sin Collector, which is good. Has the Snare Squad, which is good. Armored Wolf Rider, which I like. Weapon Surge is a good trick. Haunter is a very, very strong card. I like it a lot. And I've actually had a pretty moderate amount of success with Dimir in triple, or the full block, I mean. So I think first pick's Haunter here. Kind of signal are we passing? I guess we're passing an Orzhov signal. Passing not too much of a signal other than that. A white signal of some sort.
Very strong white signal.
Yep. So white in any way, shape, or form. Be it Selesnya. This is good in Boros. Guildgate. Pretty happy to pick up the Haunter here. It doesn't look like we're passing a Dimir signal whatsoever. And Haunter's just, like I said, an amazing card for that deck. Wow, second pick Beckon Call. You know, I'm really not opposed to taking that. I've already gotten a chance to play it, and I really liked it. But Maze Abomination, clearly good with Haunter. There's also Moab the Obsidian, Flux Charger, Pilfered Plans, Mastiff. Another Armored Wolf Rider. Plenty of playable cards in here. I'm actually okay with picking up Beckon Call. I really do think this is a high power level card. It looks like they took an uncommon over it, but just playing it as a 6 mana, yep, I like that. I've played it for full value, been really happy. If you pick up any sort of Axebane, if we go Simic instead of this Haunter route, I mean, it lets you play Esper, and you could still run like a Prism or any sort of Guildgate and make the green work. You know, super late game. Yeah. Transguild Promenade. There's actually a lot of ways to do it.
It's not even necessary to play back.
Yeah, you don't have to. Totally. But if you can make that work, I would recommend it. Yeah. So I think I actually like this more than the Maze Abomination, which is probably my second choice. Maybe Pilfered Plans, but probably Maze Abomination. Okay. Next, we have Fatal Fumes, which has been deceptively good. I like it more.
It's good removal.
There's also Orzhov Guildgate, Obsidian's Aid, Cluestone, Azorius Cluestone. Yeah, so any of those.
Yeah.
Maybe too early for Guildgate, although Guildgates are surprisingly more difficult to get in full block than I've noticed. People are very, they're high picks. Fatal Fumes, I think, is worth the pick here. It is a powerful removal spell, and just splashing for call is still okay, you know? So, I think I'm going to take that. Obsidian's Aid is cool and all, and I actually totally think it's playable. Well, I guess, how do you feel about that? I mean, it is a Rise for the Game for any permanent, you know?
Yeah, it's only really great if you
you don't have a good permanent right now.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
But you can get them later, you know what I mean?
Like, maybe, take the Fatal Fumes.
Okay. I think that card's actually probably pretty good,
though. It's not terrible, it's just, you didn't have anything yet.
Yeah,
worth getting.
Not yet, it's early, though. Has the Snare Squad here, looks fine since he's doubles as a really good blocker, but there's also Orzhov Cluestone.
And Azorius Cluestone.
Which is good. And Azorius Cluestone. Skyplan Giant card that I get all the flack for always.
I like that card.
Drafting them out of color. I love this card.
I like that.
Don't encourage me to pick it. People get mad. Has the Snare Squad. Looks just fine here. But I don't mind getting a Cluestone as well. I mean, we also just have Toil, which is a little more expensive Sign in Blood, but easier to cast in a Esper deck, you know?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
So what do you think?
I'd rather have that has the Snare Squad.
I'd go Snare Squad.
Good blocker. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, Rot Farm Skeleton's cool, but another Fatal Fumes feels fine. I guess they're actually pretty good alongside Snare Squad. Hired Torture, also good.
Yeah.
Deceptively good. Also Protect and Serve, which if you're just playing it for Protect 2,
it's not terrible.
That's fine. And I could see you getting full value and being good too.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to Protect and Serve. I like Fatal Fumes. Maybe for diversity, we could pick Protect and Serve. Otherwise, Hired Torture is fine. What do you think?
Probably not going to be pushed into any Defender deck, I suppose, but maybe. I mean, Hired Torturers also go very late.
Yeah.
I kind of like Protect and Serve.
I think that the Torture could table.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take the Protect and Serve. Just sort of.
There's Cluestones out of that.
Jake and I have been pretty unimpressed with this card, and I think we've sort of both stated that we think it's one of the worst of the full cycle. I don't even think it's the worst. Like maybe that discard to one where you return.
Oh, that one is the worst.
Yeah, so I think this is.
The cost is
this is like close to the worst one.
Yeah.
But okay, this pack has got Mastiff, Pilfered Plans, Maze Abomination.
We're not getting
fairly late
much
Armored Wolf
blue
Rider.
at all. That's good.
Yeah, we're cut off from blue quite a bit.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't
seen all
even
that
cut
white
blue.
early.
So Maze Abomination feels fine here.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to that. Mastiff's fine too.
Yeah, Mastiff's
It's a 2-drop. Maze Abomination I just really like.
Bear.
We could just take the bear over the Maze Abomination, but I actually think Abomination's the strongest one.
Probably.
It's a worthy 6-drop, I will say
This is a
that.
slow format.
Yeah.
Definitely slower than before. Alright, here we could do Deputy. Even though you said yourself we're getting a little bit pushed out of blue, I still think Deputy is pretty good, and there's good applications for it. With any sort of into the battlefield creature we can get in the later 2 packs. I think I like it more than Steeple Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also a surprise blocker. Sometimes they attack into something that they ordinarily wouldn't attack with, and then you get,
It's
nice
true.
little trade.
I've gotten
Deputy's
before.
pretty good.
Windrake.
Okay, wow,
Those
that's a
three.
really late Thrashing Moss Dog.
Yeah.
I like the Windrake.
There's 3 flyers in this pack.
Yeah, actually, so we're still fairly good mix of the 3.
I guess
Do we want the
rather
Drake
have
or the
Rapid
Windrake?
Strike.
Really, even though it can't block?
I feel like we might be going into black more than we're into blue.
Could be right. So Ixnay on the fixing, let's just get a flyer. I think I'm down with that. I guess I can go with that plan. But then we're kind of passing more blue to them. I guess.
Yep.
Alright, here I think Orzhov or Azorius. If you're saying blue's a splash, then Azorius might make more sense.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do that. Gets us a turn 4 Haunter. Alright, another Maze Abomination. I'm actually happy that we tabled that. I like having a couple of them.
Okay.
And there's not much else on color for us. A really late Armored Wolf Rider, which is surprising.
Those go stupidly late.
Yeah.
It really drives me crazy.
Hired Torture, we did table it, so otherwise Restore the Peace is actually playable, especially when you have high toughness blockers, even though you have to return them too. Sometimes it can be really... It actually returns Zertod Druid too, which is kind of cool. Let's do Hired Torture. Here, another Azorius Bluestone. I think we're just going to take that over the Bane Alley Blackguard. So we already have a couple pieces of fixing. That's good news. Well, we can take the Maze Sentinel, most likely not playing it. I don't think it's likely we're playing the
You could also
uncovered
take
clues.
the Cluestone just to screw fixing out of people.
I guess. I mean, I'm not going to play the Maze Sentinel.
there's-
Sometimes you just want to cut color, too.
That's true, but I don't know. I haven't really seen anybody play a Maze Sentinel.
I mean, it's early. Early on, like pack 1, I really want my opponent to know what the hell I'm in, because then it's like, look, I'm going to hook you up, you hook me up.
So
We both want good
like
decks.
the ally draft strategy?
I think it's a better idea than hating, because all you really end up doing is hating is sending mixed signals, and then when you do that, your opponents sort of have to like figure out what they're going to do, and they're going to intrude more on your color. There's more of a chance that they're intruding, because you're intruding on theirs. So I think if you want the best consistent good deck, you pretty much have to do signaling at all times during the first pack. Next couple, hating is probably okay, but definitely the first pack's an important one. So far, I like where we're at. I think this is perfectly fine. Wow. So we got Spark Trooper. I think Bane Alley Broker is going to be the pick.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the rest yet, though. There's Screecher, Syndic,
Gridlock.
Ground Assault. A lot of good cards. Gridlock's good card for the right deck. I mean, I do want the Syndic and the Screecher, but I think the Broker is just one of my faves. I really like the Bane Alley Broker a lot. I think that looter effect is very strong. If you have any way to boost it, if we have a Maze Abomination, actually has Death Touch. It's kind of funny. It is.
Spark Trooper would be really great with Death Touch.
Yeah. Screecher and Syndic are both good. Like I said, it really sucks I have to pass those, but I think the Broker is actually worth it. They're close. I'll say that. Breeding Pool, worth a couple tickets. What else we got that's on color? Spy. I like the Spy a lot. Cartel Aristocrat is also a great card. I think I like the Spy more. It's a little more defensive. There's also Mind Eye Drake, which is a really good 5-drop.
Yeah.
Spy is going to work better if we pick up like a Death's Approach, or sometimes you just, well, in my case, mill 11. I've milled 11 off of Balustrade Spy before, which is just insane. But I think I like the Spy the most. It's the best costed. I mean, Mind Eye Drake's really good too. But maybe...
I like Balustrade Spy.
Let's take the Spy.
It blocks Drake. It can't kill Drake.
2/3.
Okay, now we have Raptor, Rogue, Denizen. I like the Rogue here actually quite a bit.
I do
It's
too.
also Incursion Specialist, which is good, but I've had a lot of good things
The rogue's good.
go on with the Death Call Rogue. I like him a lot.
Also got a commandos in
Yeah, Nav Squad, likely to table that, I think.
Yeah,
We could probably
like
pick
that
that
one
up
too.
on the other end, so that's cool. I like getting this evasive stuff. All right.
Demir
This
Guildgate
pack, we
or
have
Rogue.
another Death Call Rogue, Night Watch, Court Street
Yeah,
Denizen,
Demir
Demir Guildgate, Krasis, Scarred Guildmage. Both excellent cards for their guild. Could take the Demir Guildgate. It's going to help us get our blue online. I'm not opposed to that. I kind of do want another Rogue. He is a really good creature. So what do you think? Oh, it also gets Death Touch with Maze Abomination, which is pretty cool. So late game when you need it as like a blocker in a pinch alongside.
That's true.
That's pretty good. I kind of really like the... Whoa. Can't believe Trevor's on. That's crazy. Death Cult Rogue, Demir Guildgate. I mean, the gates are harder to get, but the Rogue is very good.
Yeah, I think that's your choice. Either the gate or
Yeah,
I think I'm
one
going to
of
go with the
those
Rogue.
two's
I
not
just,
coming back.
I like that Rogue too much. That was a tough pick. We could take the Enforcer here. There's also Executioner's Swing, which is pretty reasonable removal. I do like to get it at least one Extort spell. And Syndicate Enforcer, typically the worst one, but there's also Basilica Guards. Good point. We look like we're a little bit more of an attacking deck.
I think you are. Your curve's fair though.
What do you think? Enforcer or Executioner Swing or Guards?
I'd rather have the Enforcer.
There's also a Spotlight in this deck.
Yeah,
All right, let's take the Enforcer.
You got this. You got the Snare Squad. So.
Ooh,
Okay.
Guildgate.
We can do Prophetic Prism here, which would turn on the Beckon Call, believe it or not. And it would kind of reward... Actually, the Golgari Cluestone, it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because that's another fixing for Beckon Call. You know what I mean? There's a Mana Rock as well. So I'm not opposed to Prism or Guildgate here. Prism's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like what it does.
You can't trip off.
I'd rather play it than Golgari Cluestone.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
let's take the Prism here, just so we have a means to turn that green on. Well, Thespian Stage, we were just talking about that. Alright, in this pack remaining for us, Paranoid Delusions, Slate Street Ruffian, Spell Rupture. I guess we could take the Delusions, maybe. It's probably more likely I'm playing that than... I guess we'd take the Spell Rupture, too. This card's actually playable. Counterspells have become more playable on the full block. I've noticed that. We can try it out. We've got some high power creatures.
Big guys, yeah.
Even countering
Even
2
3
mana,
power,
2 is playable. Alright.
Oh, wow.
Now we have
Aetherize.
Aetherize, Corpse Blockade, Totally Lost. I think I'm... Or off Guildgate, too. Another Guildgate that's on color. I like the Aetherize quite a bit.
It blows games out.
Yeah, it totally does. And how many times have we been like, God, if they have an Aetherize, we're screwed, you know? So it really does do that. And then they have to play around it in the future, which can be good. Gridlock actually looks like it's reasonable in this deck because we're an evasive deck.
Yeah.
So being able to get in...
That way the Thieves get that too.
Yeah, but we don't have a gate yet.
Yeah, let's take the Gridlock. I feel like we might be able to make that work. All right, we tabled Sage's Road Denizen. I'm pretty happy about that. Not because we have a ton of blue creatures, but just 3 mana, 2/3s. Always pretty good.
Yeah.
This deck too. There's also Beckon and Shielded Passage. But let's take the
We have
Sage's
a
Road.
few blue creatures. We have 6.
We have enough. All right, Skyblinder Staff is actually a reasonable sideboard card. There's also Horror of the Dim, which is playable, but I'm not sure I want it in here. We didn't end up getting any Cipher abilities.
No.
To note, interestingly.
We won't be.
I guess
getting it.
Paranoid Delusions, but
Did we even pick that
I don't
one
even think so. Maybe we did, I don't know. I'm going to take the Skyblinder Staff. It's a reasonable sideboard spell. Alright, Midnight Recovery actually has Cipher, and it's actually decent when you have evasive cards, so I could see us possibly playing Midnight Recovery, sideboarding into it.
Okay.
Alright, tabled Armored Transport, so we'll take that. Possibly playing it.
Fine.
Crackling Perimeter, second to last. We'll stop that Omega Gate deck. We've lost to that before.
Really?
Yeah, totally. That guy probably had like a...
I played Crackling Perimeter. I played it at GP Charlotte.
Did you get any value off of it?
A
Occasionally.
little bit. It
Okay.
drew some hate.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
didn't play that much.
If it could hit
We're-
creatures, it'd be so much
We're
better.
on to return to Ravnica. So we
Yeah.
actually have Transguild
Promenade.
Promenade's going to help us play the Beck on Beck and Call. We have that many rocks, it's not the worst idea. But there's also Underworld Connections, which is a really good card.
Really good, you know?
I feel like that one. I feel like actually Underworld got better in full block, don't you?
Why?
Just because the format slowed down a little
Oh,
bit.
okay.
Underworld was a lot
Yeah.
worse when it was triple return and triple
Yeah.
gate crash because there was the nuts
Well,
Rakdos
triple
deck.
return.
See, let's just say Underworld Connections still bad if your opponent, and even in full block, if your opponent is any sort of aggressive strategy.
Yeah.
But if they're any sort of slower strategy, Underworld can be like an omega way to gain card advantage. There's also Launch Party in here, Blood Fray for the, and Annihilating Fire for the red player is unfortunate. But what do you think? Promenade, Underworld, Launch Party, Rune Wings, totally playable. I think I like either Trans Guild, Underworld, or Launch Party though. Those are the three I'm at.
Ugh. I don't know. Any one of those are fine.
I guess I'm gonna go with Launch Party. It's a solid removal spell. I couldn't get everybody to agree on them.
Mahamodi Jin.
Yeah, we could take the Sphinx of the Chimes. Do we have 2 non-land cards with the same name? Yeah, we have a couple Death Cults, but kind of want to play them. A couple Maze Foundations. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You just played as Mahamodi Jin, but there's also Long Legs in here, which is probably easier for us to cast. Maybe not though. I'd probably gonna take the Sphinx. There's also Sunspire Griffin in here, which is kind of difficult to cast. We're almost light white.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We're almost like splash white. So for that reason, let's take the Sphinx. Let's get a nice bomby in-game creature.
Good bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Longlegs is cooler with the Maze Abomination, but this thing
There's
flies.
some other Runeways that could table.
It's really good.
Void Wielder.
Void Wielder's insane. In this next pack, there's also Crosstown Courier, Gatecreeper Vine, Cellar. A lot of good
There's
stuff.
good stuff.
Let's take the Void
but
Wielder.
We want that.
Yeah, slam him. Yeah, it looks like we're just a black-blue deck, maybe. Maybe we don't even need that much fixing.
The third Runeway.
Maybe we're not. Well, then the Beck and Call just with the Clue Stones. We'll see. Maybe we're not even playing those. I'm not sure yet. So if we're going to be black-blue, then let's like sort of focus on that. Yeah. Well, let's take Runewing then.
Yeah.
Let's get a flyer.
Yeah, let's just keep going flying.
And there's some other ones that could table.
All right, now Syncopate, which is actually better, and
Rogue's Passage, very good
Rogue's
too.
Passage. Most of our guys are evasive already, so
Yeah.
it's probably unnecessary. I'm not opposed to taking Syncopate here. Terrace Worm's a cool little 7-drop too. If you can get in your graveyard, I guess we'll take Syncopate. It's totally playable. Counter spells are good when you're evasive as well. It's a late Nightly Valor. I think we'll take the Xanakeb Locust out of this pack. There's also Rites of Reaping, Zorius Justiciar, Terrace Worm, Nightly Valor. We'll take the Locust. It's actually a good 6-drop. Scavenge is super strong. Right. Here we have Tower Drake. It's also Dispel, Sar Patrol, Monitor. Tower Drake, even without the white, we'll just play it as a little flyer. Downsize is playable as a combat trick.
Is Deviant Glee fine?
You're right. Let's try the Deviant Glee here. We have enough evasion with the Death Cult Rogues and the Flyers, or we can probably make it work. And that, if that's gonna be our game plan, then let's try and consolidate our picks here a little bit. That's a late Brush Rider. I'm pretty surprised. Avenging Arrow, Blister Quo, weird. You could take the Arrow just because we can splash for it if we need to in a pinch.
It's also removal too.
Okay. Probably not playing white. All right, we can take Codex Shredder, but I kind of like the Terrace Worm for cutting white too. I don't know. I like Terrace Worm. I think it got better in full block. It's like a 1-of.
He's big.
I mean, we still have the option to splash for Beck and Call. It's really
I would
up
take
to.
out the Golgari Clue Stone.
It's really up to us how much, if we even want to splash, because it looks like right now we really don't have to.
We probably don't need the armored transport with 20 creatures.
I mean, let's just cut white now and look what it would look like. We'll even cut the Protect and Serve and the Beck and Call. We can leave in the Prism. Let's take out the Clue Stones. Let's take out the white. Let's see where we're at. Alright, so sans any white in this deck, and we actually still can make cuts. So, looks like
the transport.
Alright, I think we're going to take the Courier here just as like a bear.
Yeah, we need those.
Take out the Transport.
You're heavy.
You take out the Torture. 25 spells here.
Midnight Recovery.
Probably take out the Spell Rupture. I thought I took that out already.
Oh, okay.
I did. Let's take the Cancel here. What are we cutting? We actually have quite a few good playables. We don't look like we're necessarily an aggressive deck, so maybe we don't need the courier. We look like we're a little bit slower and evasive. Mind route for sideboard can be good. We look like we have some good tricks, and we have some good evasion. It's just we do sort of want to get to the later game. We're a little more of a mid-range deck with some good evasion.
Rites of Reaping.
Yeah. See, it's funny how bad Rites of Reaping was in triple Return to Ravnica,
I liked it.
but now in full block it is better, in my opinion.
I haven't liked it in Ravnica.
I think people had a problem with it because it was just too expensive.
6, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like
A little cost prohibitive, but it is a powerful effect. Kill something, make my guy bigger for a turn. It's good. Let's put in the prism still. Maybe we can cut the prism actually. I guess it's not like we're super color
Yeah, if we're
intensive.
2-color, then we don't need it.
Yeah. So then that could be our last card we cut probably. Let's put in these abominations. I guess the abominations aren't that useful. The only multicolor cards we have really are Haunter and 2 Deathcall Rogues, which is fine.
Well, we could cut one abomination
But
then.
well, see, the thing is about abominations, they're amazing on their own. They're 4/5 death touch, so they
Yeah.
still kill everything.
But we already have
We'll,
3
we'll,
6
we'll see where we're at.
Or without one.
Oh, because of the Terror Swarm too.
Because of the Sphinx too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we're not playing the Terror Swarm. All right, this is 21.
I wouldn't play Terra Swarm.
Okay. If we're not going to do the rocks, we can still do Syncopate. We can still do Cross Town Courier. So this is 23. Kind of like Deviant Glee on a Cross Town Courier. So this is 23. We could cut the Prism, put in Cancel, have another counter spell. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Otherwise, we have 16 creatures.
We have 16
so Spell
creatures.
Rusher's not like totally outlandish.
No, I think I'd rather have the Cancel though.
Okay.
I do think I'd rather pay the extra blue, especially since we're only a 2-color deck.
Okay.
I think that's much more realistic. So this deck looks fine. We have enough creatures. The quality on the creatures is good enough where I could see us. Really, we're just a deck that's trying to disrupt our opponent's strategy and just picking away at them the whole game. I think that's really the plan, evasively in some way, shape, or form. Gaining some card advantage via Bane Alley Broker and Rune Wing to a certain extent. And yeah, I think this looks good. Gridlock, like I said, does look good in this deck actually because we look like we can hold them off late enough. I think Deviant Glee is actually... It's kind of funny that Deviant Glee ended up in this deck because I actually think it's good enough. I guess the Crosstown Courier is like the creature I'm least impressed with. Maybe we could find some sort of swap for it. It's not that I hate it because it is a bear and it trades with stuff, but I feel like because we're more of a late game deck, I'd rather have almost like a ramp maybe, or I guess we really don't have much else. It's either that or Armored Transport.
Or Cluestone.
I mean, Transport at least gets to keep attacking in. Or which one?
Or Cluestone.
Or a Cluestone. But the Cluestones do just seem sort of pointless since we don't have any sort of...
Since they're all at 3.
Yeah, and there's nothing necessary to really...
Like, if you don't want to
Bring it
play
down
the
to.
Courier, then I would play the Prism, because at least then you've got
It's a
something
cantrip
for
or
2
something.
that just
Yeah.
replaces itself.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess we can try Courier main deck.
You might as well.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a bear.
16
Mhm.
creatures is nice. It is a bear in a color scheme that typically doesn't have access to a ton of good bears. It's got 2 power. He's a what's the Merfolk? That was a 2-mana.
Coral
2,
Merfolk.
yeah, with an extra ability.
Mhm.
What more can you ask for? He's almost too good.
Yes, that's how I would describe
All
it.
right, so we definitely need more blues and black. We only need 1 black really, and we need double blue on at least 2 spells. So
Yeah.
we'll see what they say. They probably 9/8. I think that's reasonable. We definitely want to see black at every point in the game.
Yeah.
I guess we actually want to see blue early more.
Why?
So we,
Oh,
just because
double
Deathcall
blue.
Rogue doesn't really care if you're playing blue or the only one really is Rakdos Drake, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm still willing to
I
go the
think it's
even
still
split.
high.
Okay. So
9/8 seems fine.
that's going to be this podcast. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch the matches for this draft, go to seemsgoodmagic.com. I'll have them posted at the same time I post this podcast. You can reach me at mortarpod@seemsgoodmagic.com. That's where I reply to any comments you have, or if you want to post on the website or anything like that. Twitter, follow us at seemsgoodmagic. Tristan, do you have Twitter? Do you do
No, I
Twitter?
don't
You're not a tweeter?
It does
Not a
tweet.
tweeter. Don't tweet.
That's okay. I pretty much just tweet because it really helps with like when you have like a website or something.
Of course.
Same way you're doing new content. We live stream. Jake and I do Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. Been having a blast with that. A lot of people have stopped out and talked to us, and I really want to Shout outs to all the people that have donated tickets. I think how do you pronounce this? Like Any Can See or something like that. It's hard to pronounce his name, his screen name or whatever it was, but
You never know
paid-
where the breaks are supposed to be either.
he paid for one of our drafts, and I really appreciated it. And Travis Bewley is the name of another guy who donated before. He's also contributed some videos to the website, so that was really cool of him. All right, that's it for the podcast. Hope you had a good one. Tristan, thanks for stopping out.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it, man. See you guys later.
See you later.